Welcome to Legacy Leaders, a weekly talk show with national and local thought leaders on issues impacting the South Florida Black community. Now introducing our host, Anne-Marie Sorrell.
Hello and welcome to Legacy Leaders. I'm your host, Anne-Marie Sorrell, President and CEO of the Mosaic Group. Today, we will be discussing the NAACP's travel advisory in response to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' new laws that impacts diversity, equity, and inclusion, and immigration. I will be joined by Stacy Ritter, who's the President and CEO, and Neki Mohan, who is the Vice President of Multicultural Tourism at Visit Florida, to discuss how this travel advisory could or is impacting their organizations, tourists, as well as businesses in our local community. Welcome, Stacy and Neki. How are you today?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for being here. So I want to give our audience just a little background. The NAACP Board of Directors issued a formal travel advisory for the state of Florida. The travel advisory comes in direct response to Governor Ron DeSantis' aggressive attempts to erase Black history, which includes rejecting students' access to AP African American Studies and courses, and to restrict diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in Florida schools. In addition, there has been upheaval behind the recent immigration laws as well. And the formal travel notice states that Florida is openly hostile toward African Americans, people of colors, and LGBTQ plus individuals. Before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida views and marginalizes the contributions of and the challenges faced by African Americans and other communities of color. And they go on to say that once again, hate-inspired state leaders have chosen to put politics over people. Governor DeSantis and the state of Florida have engaged in a blatant war against principles of diversity and inclusion and rejected our shared identities to appeal to a dangerous extremist minority. And this was said by the chair of the NAACP, Mr. Leon Russell. And then one last thing that they go on to say is that the NAACP would not allow our rights and history to be held hostage for political grandstanding. The NAACP proudly fights against malicious attacks in Florida, against Black Americans, and he encourages his fellow Floridians to join in this fight to protect ourselves and our democracy. So then the NAACP, just for the record, is not the only one who's issued a travel ban or a travel advisory for Florida. The League of United Latin American Citizens and the LGBTQ advocacy group Equality Florida had previously issued travel advisories as well. Now, in response, Governor DeSantis announced that Florida is seeing a record-breaking tourism, and he states that the NAACP is nothing more than a stunt with what they have issued. So I want to dive right into that, but I want to give just some quick statistics about tourism in Florida. It's a massive industry, and this advisory could have an impact on visitors. Around 137.6 million people visited the state of Florida in 2022, according to the tourism agency Visit Florida. And visitors contributed to $101.9 billion to the state's economy and supported more than 1.7 million jobs in 2021. So welcome again, ladies. I want to ask you, since, first of all, post-pandemic, how has your organization been impacted as it relates to tourism?
Well, I guess I'll take that one. And thank you for having both Neki and myself this afternoon. We have seen record-breaking tourism post-pandemic. In 2021, we collected $99 million in tourist development tax dollars, which was a record. And then in 2022, we collected almost $138 million in tourist development tax revenue. And that's how we basically gauge how successful we are. And we have been extraordinarily successful, in part because for a large period of time, Florida was the only destination that was completely open. We had no competition. If you wanted to come to a beach destination or just get out of where you were, you could come to Florida, and basically there were no rules. that helped the tourism industry. It helped people here get back to work. We're now seeing a more leveling off in 23, although we are still doing extraordinarily well, which keeps people employed, which is our calling here. You know, our mission is to bring visitors to visit Lauderdale, but our calling is to make sure people are employed, and we take that very seriously.
Thank you. And with this travel advisory from the NAACP and other organizations, how is it impacting you, if at all? Do you see it impacting you in the long run, especially for multicultural tourism, Neki, which you oversee that at Visit Fort Lauderdale?
Well, Anne-Marie, we've already started to see it. You know, we respect the NAACP and all of these groups, their decisions, you know, on their opinion on these advisories. And certain organizations, especially when we talk about meetings and business, some of them have it written in their charters not to come to states with these laws on the books. And so, yes, we're starting to see groups and business that's been booking out that are saying we are not coming to the state of Florida. We here at Visit Lauderdale, we're the destination marketing organization for Broward County. We are one of 67 counties in the state of 20 million people. We continue to market our destination as inclusive and welcoming. We know we've had that message for years, and we continue to do it in our marketing. And we have Wilton Manors, which is, as you know, is the most prominent LGBTQ plus community in the state of Florida. So we continue to market what we know is true in our destination, and also to protect the businesses that are here. Tourism is the economic engine of the state of Florida and the economic engine of Broward County. And you know, our job is to make sure that we continue our welcoming and inclusive messaging about Broward County, but we do respect all these groups and respect their advisories.
And thank you for that. So to just add on to that, because I think it's important for people to understand the impact on the local businesses as well as the workforce. And so not only was there an attack on diversity, equity, and inclusion, but there's been an attack on immigration as well, which has impacted many industries throughout our state and especially our region in South Florida. How are these impacts, or how do you see these impacts affecting not just your organization, but the broader economy as it relates to the workforce as well as the businesses that benefit from tourism?
You know, Broward County is a county of 2 million people. 170 nations are represented by the residents here, speaking 147 languages. So we are a heavily immigrant population, and tourism as our #1 industry is a heavily immigrant industry. And we believe we are going to see businesses in hospitality, whether it's direct hotels, indirect restaurants, attractions, and retail, we believe that they are going to see a dip in service workers at a time when it has been extraordinarily difficult post-pandemic to find service workers to begin with. That's a concern. And we've all seen stories anecdotally that suggest that legal immigrants are leaving the state of Florida for a variety of reasons, one of which is they don't feel welcome here. I can tell you that they are welcome in Broward County. We are all immigrants. Unless you are indigenous, we are all immigrants. And this country welcomed my family 120 years ago. We have embraced the American dream, and we believe that here in Broward County, everybody has the right to embrace the American dream and have the opportunities that the promise of America is supposed to fulfill. We hope it doesn't happen. We know it's going to happen, and we expect that will impact the service industry, the hospitality industry negatively. We already know that it is, because July 1st, you know, a law goes into effect where you have to literally check. If you have employees of more than, I think it's 25, that's going to, and that impacts small businesses. Small businesses have the hardest time finding service workers to begin with. So it's going to impact minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses more significantly than it will some of the larger businesses, but it will still have an impact.
Absolutely. And with these impacts, what do both of you, Stacy and Neki, you know, suggest that citizens of Florida and South Florida do to help possibly mitigate these impacts? What can we do? What part do we play? We know it's a law, so we can't necessarily change the law until, you know, next legislative session and, you know, how we vote, of course. But in the meantime, what is it that we can do as residents?
Well, you continue, we have summer is technically the slow season in Florida for tourism. And so we have, if you go to visit Lauderdale.com, we have lots of summer specials. Support your local businesses. The kids are out of school. There's the Adventure Pass. You can go to Butterfly World, Flamingo Gardens, Museum. Continue to support the local businesses here in Florida, and all the people that get up early and get to work every day to make this the best possible and most welcoming destination, and support their families. We have to still get up every day and go to work, do our jobs, and people are very dependent in an economy which is very challenging at this time. So, people need to stay informed and stay connected and stay engaged.
Our tagline is everyone under the sun for a reason, because it not only speaks to the visitors who come to visit Lauderdale, who are literally from around the world, but the people who live here, who are also literally from around the world. And we encourage the 2 million people who live here to patronize the local businesses, to ensure that people stay employed, and also to press the message that we are a welcoming, diverse, inclusive, and accessible place. We have been for decades, and we were talking about this long before it became fashionable, because it is who we are, and we are going to market and promote this destination in an original way. I hate the word authentic, but the truth is, it is who we are. We don't care who you love, what you worship, if you worship at all, what your sexual orientation is, what your gender identity is. We just don't care. We just want you to come and have a marvelous experience. And we hope that people who love Florida. I love Florida. I may not like what parts of it have become, but I love Florida. And I would hope that people would want to experience the kind of Florida that I know we have here in Broward County.
Yeah, and it's June. June is Pride Month. June is Caribbean Heritage Month. I'm a proud Caribbean immigrant. There's so much going on. Just if you look at our calendars and look at the things on how our community celebrates, we all unite on food, on culture, on music, on spending time together. So those are the things we continue to market, we continue to support in our destination. And the people that do come here will see that we are welcoming and inclusive, Anne-Marie.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy and Neki, for joining us. And for those who are tuned in, please check out Visit Fort Lauderdale. The best way that we can support our local businesses. Do those staycations this summer, super important. So thank you, Stacy and Neki. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
MIA Media Group. We are the largest distributors of Black content in the state of Florida. We editorialize the success and achievement of the Black South Florida community. Our platforms are print, digital, and broadcast. We are Black excellence.
When quality care is a priority for you and your family, choose Pediatric and Family Health and Wellness Center.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás hoy?
Muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Okay. Bien. How are you?
Welcome!
Your organization's ability to thrive is dependent upon your vision, hard work, and the people you employ. Wolf Creek Consulting is a top-rated executive staffing firm specializing in placing professionals in finance, IT, healthcare, and construction. We're a boutique executive staffing firm that focuses on recruiting the best and brightest candidates that are not aggressively pursuing opportunities, but are keeping their options open. From recruitment to workforce management, we offer solutions that reduce your human cost and turnover. We work with clients under several different options to include permanent placement, temporary, and temp to hire. Our clients are our partners, and we work to understand the job requirements and skills required for a candidate to be successful. Intelligent Staffing Solutions. To learn more, please give us a call.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family, our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters. Because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. The Mesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
Welcome back. I am joined by Connie Kennard, who is the Senior Vice President of Multicultural Tourism and Development for the Greater Miami Conventions and Visitors Bureau. Welcome, Connie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So today, we're discussing this NAACP travel advisory and its impact on our tourism market, particularly with multicultural tourism, which you're an expert at. And so before we dive in, I want to understand how your organization and Miami-Dade County has been doing post-pandemic.
Absolutely. So our numbers are back. In 2022, we actually exceeded pre-pandemic numbers, and so definitely back. Of course, that right now there is a leveling off as people are moving about, but it's still strong, it's still doing good.
That's really good. So let's talk about this travel ban that the NAACP, or travel advisory, it's not a ban, a travel advisory that the NAACP has launched along with a couple of organizations, including the League of United Latin American Citizens and the LGBTQ Advisory Group Equality Florida. How has this ban impacted you so far, as well as the Miami-Dade community? And how is it impacting local businesses as well as the local workforce?
Wow. So it's like, opportunities like this really are opportunities to educate about what we do, our tourism ecosystem, organizations that do put out advisories. And thank you for saying that, because technically it's not a ban. It's an advisory. If people choose to travel here, what we ask is that they look at the destination, look at the city, look at the area, and look at what they're doing in the community, around small businesses, Black and brown businesses, and support, and then make an informed decision in that way. One of the things with this advisory, it gives us an opportunity to make sure that we're elevating as we should be, telling our story as we should be. We've had some long, deep roots in elevating our community, which is naturally diverse. But this just gives us another opportunity to do that. Advisories, they do affect a community. They do, there is an effect, but also there is an opportunity to both educate travelers and also to help support our businesses even more at a time when they really need it.
Now, in your opinion, and I know in your personal opinion, let me preface that. In your personal opinion, do you feel that this is the best approach or solution for, combating the policies and laws that the governor in the state of Florida has passed?
I think each organization, especially advocacy organizations, have their format to get attention to things that are important to those organizations. And so I don't want to question what an organization may do to do that. Because it does affect tourism, there are some things that we can do as a DMO, as a community, to help elevate our stories and help elevate those people that it may potentially impact. Similar to COVID, we actually had to get in the same mindset from a bureau and in the businesses as well. What happens when your organization or your business is impacted in any way of this nature? What are some things that you can do? And so those are the ways that we're thinking now. We're elevating. We've had a long-standing business enhancement program for tourist-related businesses. We're elevating that. We're continuing. We're not stopping. We're going to do more of that. We've had our Art of Black Miami program, which we work with the artists to elevate. We're doing more. We're elevating. We're enhancing. And so we're also encouraging those businesses to think about things that they did to pivot. We're going to use that word again, to pivot after COVID. They can use some of those same applications now to help elevate the business. Just yesterday, just this past week, we had a session for our small business under our Tourism Business Enhancement Program that talked about finances and how you do your taxes. The room was full of Black and brown, small, women-owned businesses in the room, learning more to help support their business. So we're going to do more of that, continue that to just support.
That's wonderful. And what do you say to the associations, Black associations, sororities, fraternities, who often look at Florida, whether it's Miami-Dade County, Broward County, or Palm Beach County, to bring their conferences and summits and conventions? What do you say to them amid this travel advisory?
Yeah, absolutely. First, again, I would want them to look at our community, look at the things within the community that they could support. You know, are there businesses, Black-owned, brown-owned, small businesses that they can support to help them? Because many times part of the missions of these organizations are to support businesses in the community. So that also is part of advocacy organizations' mission. So look at those, look at the programs happening in the community. You know, is it a destination that I would want to go and spend my money because of the programs? Look at the things that our tourist bureau is doing, because we're part of, hopefully, the solution to that. I would encourage them and ask them to do that as they make their decision. If they so decide that, you know, now is not the time, what I would do is ask them to keep us in mind for the future. You know, if now is not the time for you to come, keep us in mind for the future, because the things that we're doing is not one-off. It's not just because of now. We're doing some things before and long term. So we would want you to consider that. But if you can't come this time, keep us in mind for the future.
Connie, if you had a crystal ball, how would you think that this would, you know, pan out in the long run, especially for, you know, the local business community and workforce?
You know, believe it or not, as they say, in times of war and in times of crisis, from a long run, it really can only make you better if you really think about it. Because what it does is during the crisis, it may seem a little tense and intense, but it also gives you, whoever it affects, however, it gives us as a bureau, it gives us small business to analyze and look at yourself. How can you do better during this time? How can you grow? So that's a good thing. That's a plus. It's an opportunity to engage more with our community, to see where the needs are. So if the crystal ball, you know, biblically we know, and this too shall pass, whatever it is, you know, in a good situation sometimes, but in this too shall pass really are in intense situations or adversity. If you perceive it like that, it will pass. But during the adversity, you can only grow, work on yourself, get better. Small businesses, if you lose some business, if you think, hey, be just building on yourself during that time of loss, kind of like during the pandemic, there was that lull. But a lot of businesses then jumped in, they started learning, they started taking classes, and we encourage you to do the same thing. Now, our thought is, and our hope is, that we don't, of course, go to the terms and the ways during the pandemic, but of course, during this time, it is an opportunity to grow.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Connie. We really appreciate your input on this matter. And thank you again to all of our guests that we've had on here. Make sure you tune in again next time to Legacy Leaders, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to my guests for joining me, Stacy Ritter, President and CEO, and Neki Mohan, Vice President of Multicultural Tourism and Development at Visit Lauderdale, and Connie Kennard, Senior Vice President of Multicultural Tourism and Development at the Greater Miami Conventions and Visitors Bureau. Thank you again for joining me, and see you next time.
I grew up down here in South Florida, so for me, it's a little bit more personal.
For the Mesman & Dover Law Firm, it's about community.
For us, South Florida's our home. You all are our people.
Our family, our future.
The difference we'll make for you, your loved ones, your kids, matters, because to us, it's personal.
If you need us, call us 24/7 at 866-954-MORE.
That's 866-954-6673. The Mesman & Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
At DRT Behavioral Services, we provide culturally sensitive mental health evaluations with thorough treatment plans, incorporating alternative forms of wellness, not just Western traditional medicine. Besides medication management and psychotherapy, we provide education to people in the areas of minority mental health with classes on your diet's impact on mood and sleep hygiene for better rest. We also offer weight loss therapy, massages, and facials. Visit brainlovehelp.com today.
Your organization's ability to thrive is dependent upon your vision, hard work, and the people you employ. Wolf Creek Consulting is a top-rated executive staffing firm specializing in placing professionals in finance, IT, healthcare, and construction. We're a boutique executive staffing firm that focuses on recruiting the best and brightest candidates that are not aggressively pursuing opportunities, but are keeping their options open. From recruitment to workforce management, we offer solutions that reduce your human cost and turnover. We work with clients under several different options to include permanent placement, temporary, and temp to hire. Our clients are our partners, and we work to understand the job requirements and skills required for a candidate to be successful. Intelligent Staffing Solutions. To learn more, please give us a call.
When quality care is a priority for you and your family, choose Pediatric and Family Health and Wellness Center.
Hola. ¿Cómo estás hoy?
Muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Okay. Bien. How are you?
Welcome!
MIA Media Group. We are the largest distributors of Black content in the state of Florida. We editorialize the success and achievement of the Black South Florida community. Our platforms are print, digital, and broadcast. We are Black excellence.